Hey foodies, and welcome back to Cooking with Kiana. Today I have a delicious fried pork chop recipe for you guys today. Alright, you guys want to talk about crispy, juicy, and tender. That is everything you're going to get with this recipe. If you guys want to see this video, keep on watching. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you can become a part of the foodie family. So let's get started. Alright, so first you want to start off by washing and pat and dry your pork chops. And this is the seasoning that we are going to be using today for these pork chops. I'm going to be using 1 sazon packet, 2 teaspoons of chili powder, a half a tablespoon of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of paprika, and a half a tablespoon of Lawrys seasoning salt. So now we're just going to go ahead and mix all those seasonings together until it is a nice consistency like that. And then we're just going to go ahead and sprinkle that over our pork chops and make sure we give that some good seasoning. All right, we want these pork chops to be super flavorful and well seasoned. So of course we're going to flip that over and we're going to season both sides. All right, so once we're done seasoning our pork chops, we can get started with the buttermilk mixture, which is just going to be a cup of buttermilk. And we're going to add our pork chops to that. We don't need to add any seasoning because our pork chops are already seasoned. Just make sure your pork chops are fully submerged in that buttermilk, and then we're going to put some plastic wrap on top and we're going to let that sit for at least 2 hours. After that, we can get started with our flour mixture. I'm going to add 1 cup of flour and 1/4 of a cup of cornstarch. And what that's going to do is that's going to make our batter really crispy. So now you want to go ahead and season your flour. It is very important that you do this. It just adds so much more flavor to your fried pork chops. So I'm going to be using 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of all-purpose Cajun seasoning, and then we're going to add in that leftover seasoning that we had. It shouldn't be too much. Go ahead and give everything a good stir. Once that is well combined, we can start breading our pork chops. Just go ahead and shake off the excess buttermilk. Then we're going to dump it in our flour mixture. Make sure that is well coated on both sides. Then once that is well coated, you want to make sure you shake off that excess flour. And then we're going to set it on a plate and we are going to let that sit for about maybe 15 minutes. This is going to help ensure that your pork chops get extra crispy. Alright, so now it's time to finally start frying. Make sure your pan is on a medium to high heat. Make sure that pan is nice and hot. Go ahead and add in your pork chops. These are thin, so they are only going to cook for about 7 minutes on each side. But cooking time does vary depending on how thick your pork chop is. You just want to make sure it reaches an internal temperature of 145. And as you can see, these pork chops are looking super golden and crispy. It is almost about time to remove it from that pan. And man, just look at that pork chop. You want to talk about crispy and juicy and tender and so simple to make. You can throw this on a sandwich. You can add some gravy to this. This is just such an easy recipe that you could build off of. Now let me go ahead and cut into this so you guys can see what that inside looks like. As you can see, it is super juicy and tender. These fried pork chops were everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. If you did, the full recipe will be listed in the description box below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.